An affinity space, by definition, is a space, digital or organic, where a shared passion can be pursued unsegregated by age and ability. My affinity space is running. Running has served as a sort of therapy for me since I was in high school. I didn't always love to run, but when I was 16, I decided to try out for track and field. Because of the lack of girls and because I wasn't the fastest, I was always tasked with running the events that were considered distance events. The 1 mile and the 2 mile became my events. I remember the first time I ran the 2 mile, or rather, I remember the build-up after learning that I had to run it. I just about had a panic attack. How on earth was I supposed to run 2 whole miles without stopping and with people actually standing around and casually watching? Just thinking about it sent me over the edge, and I remained teetering on that edge all the way up until the second before the start gun fired. Once the gun fired, something in me changed. I was no longer afraid, no longer thinking about anything other than the patter of my feet meeting the track. That's the thing. The hardest part about running is getting started. Once you've begun, you turn your brain off and just go. There isn't any thinking, there's just doing. And in that, there is so much relief. After that day, running became my affinity space. I have sought after it just about every day since then. It's become an integral part of who I am. And part of the reason I love running is because newbies and masters can participate in the same space. It doesn't matter your speed. Speed doesn't determine who is a runner and who is not. Whether you run several races per year or you just started yesterday, the running community is diverse and anyone can join at any time. Running as an affinity space has multiple ports of access. You can run in pretty much any location. You can run around your neighborhood, on vacation, at the local park, around a track, on a treadmill. You can run on the beach, on the sidewalk, or through the woods. All you have to do is decide you want to. It's as simple as that. The content organization of running is varied. There are several different types of runs, and the type in which you engage is entirely dependent upon the needs of your body and your running goals. To name a few, there's the base run, which is running at a challenging but doable pace for an extended period of time. The long run, which is an extended mileage or at or maybe slightly below your base pace. The tempo run, which is running at slightly above your base pace, typically for a number of miles. The recovery run, which is a shorter run at or below your base pace to give your body a break when it needs. The progressive run is a run that starts at your base pace and builds up to a tempo pace by the end. The hill run, which is a good option for training for races during which you'll run intervals up a hill and take breaks in between. And there's interval runs. Interval runs are a good option for training also, during which you run for a certain time or distance repeatedly, taking short recovery breaks in between. Running as an affinity space also incorporates intensive and extensive knowledge. Runners can talk amongst themselves about a variety of things they've learned in the way of being a successful runner. You can learn new things about running from reading health magazines, blogs, or by talking with your friends who also enjoy running, or your teammates. Types of information typically shared between runners include different running routes, locations discovered, brands of running shoes that work well, music and playlists that are particularly motivational, and different race opportunities. Running as an affinity space also assumes individual and extensive knowledge. While it's highly individual in nature, it's also possible to run on a team or as a group. For example, you can become part of the Atlanta Track Club or a local running group such as Foothills Run Group in Cherokee County. It is also possible to run on a team and earn points together during a race such as the Fallen Heroes 5K. Running also has its own form of tacit knowledge. Among runners, you can feel if you're running below, above, or at your base pace, but it isn't something that's easily explained. It's a feeling that you experience from listening to your body, its breath, and its heart rate. There are different forms and routes to participation with running. Whether you're running for fun, fitness, or competition, the level to which one participates can vary. And furthermore, no amount of participation can detract or take away from those who find an affinity space with running. Anyone can participate in any capacity or with any frequency that they choose. Anyone can gain status within the affinity space of running. As long as you are setting personal goals and meeting them, that's the status in the running community. Whether you've competed in several races, won several races, upped your mileage, decreased your time, or the frequency of days in which you run, as long as you are trying, you are gaining status. In the affinity space of running, anyone can be a leader because there are so many avenues of knowledge. If you're sharing your knowledge, then you can be considered a leader.